From the perspective as the president of the Bethniel Finance University Community, I'm happy when I see that over 150 plus members of this community have had their financial lives change. Every week, we have activities, we have webinars, and we are educating them on the various sections of their personal finance lives. And also from the perspective of being in the community myself, I've seen immense change in my financial life. I never considered retirement till I joined the Bethniel Finance Community, and I have a retirement plan. My investment portfolio, everything is looking good, and I didn't just do that on my own. It's because I stick with Bethniel Finance. I've seen the change. I've had the opportunity to, connect with all the people who have interviewed on our webinars, and it's been exciting as an individual and as a student.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to our conversation tonight. Our webinar promises to be a very interesting one. I want to thank everybody who has joined tonight, taking time out of your precious evenings to join our conversations. Tonight promises to be a very educative, very interactive session. I like to call these conversations because it's back and forth. We learn a lot, as well as try to take something home and apply it to our personal lives. Once again, I'm Leslie Amandi. I'm your host for tonight's webinar. And I'm sure if you've seen the flyers around, you have a fair idea of what today promises to be about. But if you haven't, then I would like you to sit back, relax, and then invite a friend, share it, right? Because we always try to engage our community members in a very interesting way. So once again, the call to action is to join our communities. We have a very vibrant workers and as well as students community. That was Kwame from our students, the president of our students community. We also have a very vibrant workers community. We're constantly holding conversations. We're having the hard conversations that people are afraid to talk about, or people do not have the idea or the knowledge to go about. And these are real life dilemmas that people are facing. These are real life problems that people are facing. And we as Bethniel Finance have taken it upon ourselves to talk about this. Now we take it a step further by inviting experts. That's experts in finance, experts in the field, or the particular topics that we've chosen to come and talk about these things. And as always, it has been very, very beneficial to our audience. So share the link with friends, family, co-workers. And once again, because I really meant it when I said tonight promises to be a very, very interesting conversation. So if you've seen our flyers, I'd like to quickly invite our guests. Now, we have Mimi. She is the financial planner at Access Pensions Limited. She's what can I say? She's a lot. She's very, very knowledgeable in this finance space. If you've ever tried to, I don't know, if you have attended like maybe a finance event, maybe a fintech mix or something, then you should have come across Mimi. So we have Mimi Anane-Appiah as one of our guests tonight. So Madam Mimi, thank you for joining today. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you to Leslie for having me.
Okay. Yeah, it's always amazing to have you. I think this is the second time hosting such a conversation with you, and it's always an honor. You always bring so much to the table, and I appreciate you. So tonight promises to be no different. Now, for our second guest, there's a man who needs no introduction. He has his hands in many pies, right? Especially in the finance world. Yeah. Again, if you've attended any kind of maybe investment event, he's a money man, right? Then he's the guy that you probably see and want to have a conversation with him afterwards, right? So he's in the person of Mr. Kingsley Otchere. So Mr. Kingsley, you are welcome to our conversation today. It's very, very good to have you today. Okay, so I think he's experiencing some network issues. I think he uses Vodafone. Oh, amazing. Yeah, Mr. Kingsley, yeah, we can see you. Very, very good evening to you. How are you? How are you feeling? I think your mic is off.
I'm good. How you doing? Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, I am great. Yeah, I can hear you. I am great.
Great.
Okay. Amazing.
Hello.
So thank you guys for joining us as guests and experts in these trying times. But basically tonight we'll be talking about, so if you've seen the flyers, tonight we'll be talking about building multiple streams of income, right? So how to go about if you want money, basically, so building multiple streams of income. And it's a topic that brings a lot to mind. A lot of conversations have gone around this, and tonight promises to go a step further by giving insights as to how people can come about when they want to maybe build financial wealth, or even just be financially stable. So we want to encourage everyone to share, with family, friends, co-workers. And without much ado, I think we can start tonight's webinar or conversation. Right. So my first question would be, what is multiple streams of income? Like when we say multiple streams of income, I think we need to get an understanding of what it is first. So my question to you, Mr. Kingsley, would be, what is multiple streams of income and why is it important to have them, basically?
Thanks, Leslie. Good evening to all your listeners and those who are able to join us for this particular session. So I think multiple streams of income simply mean having your income from like diverse sources. So it's not being concentrated in just one particular area, but you being able to get some form of like income across different areas. So maybe if you are working, then a multiple stream of income will be beyond the normal salary you are getting from your job. What you are also doing to complement that income, which could be any form of service you are rendering, which is giving you some form of income, or sorry, I realized I was on mute. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we're hearing you for the first part, and then at the last part, I think you just went.
Yeah. So multiple streams of income. Let me just take it a step back. Simply means having your income from more than one source. So, and this income typically will come from diverse sources. So what that means is that if you are working beyond just your normal salary, you are able to get some form of income from maybe a service you are rendering, a side hustle that you have, or a side business that you have, or anything that could give you something beyond just the one job you are doing. And it's very important because it helps you to minimize the risks of concentration much more when that income that you have is not so big. I'll use myself as a personal case study. So when I started working, I was not really a fan of this whole multiple stream of income. It wasn't really my thing. For me, it was just getting my income from like my salary from my day job, and I was okay. But then 2022 taught me that there is a need for you to go beyond just having income from just your day job to having income from best source. So since that period, like currently, I have my day job. I consult for 2 other startups that give me some form of income. I run a suit business, which also gives me some cash flow. And once in a while, I also do some form of freelance gigs where people could come to me that help me build financial model, valuation model, and then I also get some form of income. So it simply means I've been able to spread myself beyond my day job. I now have income coming from different sources. So I think it's very important because in our current economic situation, your day job might not suffice in terms of meeting your day-to-day expenses. So having that wider pool helps minimize the risk of not able to fund your lifestyle.
Amen to that. Yeah, so I mean, you make it seem very important. You make it seem that, yeah, I mean, it's the way to go if you want to be in any form financially stable. So what I mean, I would like to ask you, how does one get started? How do you leverage or maybe your skills or something to get started? If you want, let's say I want to build multiple streams of income. I want to be financially stable, maybe moving forward. How would you advise that I get started? Is there like a formula to this, or how will I get started?
Before I answer that question, I would just like to add something to what Kingsley said. And why is it important for us to achieve or to have multiple streams of income? I'm sure, Leslie, as you sit here, you are eyeing a new car, probably a house somewhere. I don't know if you are
Yes,
married, but
yes.
maybe eye that girl.
I'm not.
There's a lot to do. And
Yeah.
by exploring multiple streams of income, you are basically expanding the kind of income you can receive or you can attract, which makes you able to pursue these or meet these goals earlier, achieve these goals earlier. Because you are getting, let's say, for example, your 5,000 from your main job, maybe 1,000 here, 1,000 there, 500 there, and then it becomes maybe like 7,500. That means that you'll be able to achieve your goals earlier than if you were just saving out of um, that 5,000. Also, I don't know how popular this is in this part of the world, but outside, a lot of people want to leave their day jobs and, do what they love, just enjoy life. And that's what we normally deem as, or we normally call financial independence. And so we'll look at it multiple streams of income in terms of active income, which is what Kingsley spoke about, where you exchange your time and effort for money. And then we also have passive income, where you've put in the money and then that money is making money for you with little or no effort. So for these people, they want to put their money in places with little or no effort so that the money generates enough income for them so that they put their time and effort towards things they love to do. So having multiple streams of income also enables you to do that. And for most of us, I'm assuming we all look like we're alive in 2020. So from 2020, even before that, we've realized that the world is uncertain. I
Yeah.
mean, we heard of strong banks that yesterday, I'm sure you were praying to God that can I take my CV to this bank, and if they take me, it will be a breakthrough. Just to
Yeah,
hear
yeah, yeah.
weeks later that is gone. So we are in uncertain times, and you really don't want to put your eggs in one basket so that should your company be affected by the debt restructuring, that means that now you have zero. And for some of these bankers who are affected by the 2017 bank thing that happened, you realize that for those who had other things, even though it may not have brought them enough income, at least they could move into it and do that full time. But when you don't have anything, that's when your situation becomes very funny. So I think that it also makes you more financially secure when you have different things you are doing. You asked my main question, sorry.
Yes. Yes. Oh, please feel free. Yeah. So hearing passive income, hearing active income. So I'm sure most of the people that have joined have some form of maybe active income, whereby maybe their day job, whether it's remote or they have to commute to the office every single day, right? But passive income, having your money work for you. How do you get started on that, or how do you leverage on trying to build like multiple streams? How do you get started?
For me, I may be wrong, but I think that you always start with active income, right? And as you exchange your time and effort for money, and that's why we encourage as financial planners or advisors that set a part of your income aside. So that part of your income is what you use to pursue passive income. So you grow your investment. We have different types of income that you can look into. So you grow your investment so that it gets to a point where it can generate some income for you. If you know that there are people who survive just on returns from their investments. Okay, so there are those
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of
definitely.
people. You actively work so that you can make income or generate enough income to pursue passive income. We also have cases where you write a book or you sing a song. These are royalties. Now, this is work you do once, but you position yourself to earn from it consistently. But I'll just say that start actively, start from doing something, exchanging your time and effort, and look at scaling it. Either you are scaling it or you are diversifying it into another opportunity that would allow you to pursue passive income. Because remember that we have just 24 hours. So beyond working, consulting, and all that, there's just so much you can do, right? But you don't want to limit your income because you just have 24 hours. So passive income helps you explore that, because while you're working your 9 to 5, your money is also running and somersaulting and doing everything it has to do to bring you more money.
Yeah.
So always
Yeah. So
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you mentioned something that was very interesting, and I think it's something that people have to take advantage of. That is, you do something once, and the thing ends up making you money for like a long time, right? Now it brings to mind like what people now dub as internet money, right? There are a lot of ways to make money on the internet right now. Yeah. So I mean, can you suggest some of the ways that, because I don't have the talent for singing. I'm not an author. I can't write a book as far as I'm concerned, right? So what are some of the ways that I can leverage on the internet right now? And this question goes for both of you. So maybe Mr. Kingsley can start, and then Madam Mimi, you can chime in, right? Yeah. So the internet, how can I leverage on the internet right now for somebody who cannot sing, I can't dance, I can't write books? How do I leverage on the internet that I'm using every day to just try and start something out of something, right?
Yeah, so I think I think for this is very important, because again, we're in a digital age, so most money, or a good amount of money, is sitting online. Now, I think for this, I'll look at one aspect of multiple income source that you can use, and this I'll look at you relying on your expertise. So multiple income source which is driven from your expertise. Now you realize that each and every one of us might have some form of core competence. Now for the person in the finance world, he might have some form of competence. So in my case, for instance, given the work I do and what skills I've been able to do, in terms of making money online, it could be trading financial assets. So in this case, it could be in the form of trading forex, like you see people talk about that in recent times. It could be trading cryptocurrencies, or it could be trading stocks. Now, all these are passive ways of generating income. And for someone like me, I could easily do that. Now, beyond that, so if you don't happen to have the financial skills, how can you still make money online? You may have some form of you could be digitally savvy. In this case, you are able to use social media, you are able to do stuff on that. You could build an income stream around that. This could come in the form of influencing, which has now become the norm. Ambassadorial gigs that you could be able to get, or you could even manage somebody's social media account, or even in your own account, you could be able to run paid promotion and other form of organic promotion for people. So you realize that if you are somebody that you do not even have that core technical skills, but you do have some form of social media skills, you can make money on that. Again, you could also, even if you are good with teaching, these days you could set up some online platforms where you could teach people a particular course. Now the tools that we have available to us, like Zoom, Google Meet, they all present wonderful opportunities for us to be able to reach out to a target audience digitally. So if you are somebody that do have the skills around teaching or commanding an audience, you could find yourself having to host a class and then getting some form of income. So the avenues are a lot. All you have to do is just look at the skills that you have, and that skill, ask yourself how you can put it online, and you can be able to generate some form of income from that.
Amazing. Madam Mimi, if you could just give us your insights on that.
Yeah, so just like Kingsley said, I would start with what you are good at. The truth is that these things are easier said than done. So you want to make sure that it's something that you can sustain. So start with what you are good at. I like talking about financial literacy, coaching. And so I started a coaching practice. But knowing that I'm a mom and I wear different hats, I decided to do it with another friend so that we can, share our burdens. And so that collaborating is something that we can also do, especially in this side of town where we are afraid of our friend because they'll take us somewhere. We should also learn to yeah, beyond that, I think that we shouldn't limit ourselves to the shores of Ghana. Thanks to the internet, you can be here and your client will be somewhere else, right? And so let's look for
Yes.
opportunities to reach. Even the business that I do, we realize that for most of the Ghanaian people who were looking for, sorry, I was having some twitches. Sorry. For most of Ghanaian people who were looking for those opportunities, they had to look outside Ghana. The Nigerian experts were tapping into the Ghanaian market, right? And so you can even be here and servicing people in some other parts of the world. So don't limit yourself to just Ghana. As a freelancer too, there are also opportunities online. I know of Fiverr, Upwork, and etc. that probably, like you said, you do financial modeling. So you can go and put in your details, your portfolio, and everything, so that if a company is looking for someone who can help with financial modeling, you don't know them from anywhere, but they look at your credentials, they look at what you've worked on, and they think you are good enough, they can also decide to hire you for your services. I think that is also another way to make money online. So there are countless opportunities, even passive income. Now you can buy stocks on your phone if you know how to. You can do buy crypto on your phone if you are the risk. You love risk and you want to do that. There are so many opportunities. You have to sit down and think about, where do I want to start from, and what apps or what online platforms are available for me to do what I want to do. I think that's where it should all start from, like Kingsley said.
Leslie.
I think he's frozen.
Okay, I think it's having network issues.
Yeah. Okay, so Kingsley, have you tried any online platforms for some of your side hustles?
Oh no, I have. So like one of the suggestions I made was around using, if you are financially savvy, you know your way around the market. So for me, last year, one way I was generating side income was through cryptocurrency trading. So I was able to generate some form of income. This year, I've put that on hold. I'm now doing more of stock trading. So for those platforms, I tend to use them. I tend to use them a lot. I think for me, that's the key thing. The rest of the side hustles that I do are mainly offline, or they require more engagement in person, or using other forms of channels to connect. But largely, I tend to use those financial platforms to generate some source of income as and when I have to. What about you?
Like you, last year I decided to test crypto.
Did you get bent?
It's quite a complex
Oh,
asset.
sorry.
So after trying that, it was too complex. I don't think it's something that I wanted and too volatile.
Yeah,
Something
very
that I
true.
wanted to continue. And so I also use Instagram for my side business, basically into financial coaching. But if you've done coaching before, you know it's very draining. And
Yeah,
so using platforms to maybe record some of these courses and put them there so that you do it once and for all, but you are still making money from it, you
yeah.
know, for years to come if the content is good. Yeah. And then like you also investing in stocks using my mobile phone. So
Yeah.
that's what I've been up to with
Then you're making a lot of money.
I am about to
Yeah,
make
oh
a
yeah,
lot of
yeah, yeah.
money.
Yeah, she has a lot of money. She has a lot of money.
Amen,
I am
amen.
personally, I've been DMing her personally to, be finding out some tips for myself. Yeah, so she has a lot of
Hey.
money. But yeah, yeah, yeah. So I was experiencing a little bit of, I think, network issues, but I think it's
So that's fine.
resolved now. So my next question would be, I mean, starting anything is kind of scary, right? But for the people that have the vim to start, right? I mean, what are some of the mistakes that some of the common mistakes that they could avoid, at the early stage, like I don't know, maybe not putting enough time into it, not putting enough money into it, or putting too much money into it. What are some of the mistakes that people can just make at the early stages, and then because that's what this conversation is about, helping the average man make better financial decisions. So what are some of the common mistakes that others make, that I mean by others, I mean people who are not in this webinar make, that we should try and avoid when starting out? Yeah, so
Should I?
yeah.
Okay. So the first thing is following the crowd. You see, there are so many opportunities to make multiple streams of income. You don't need to do it the way I am doing it because it may not be sustainable for you. So it's about knowing who you are and what is sustainable for you, and not following the crowd. Yes, it's important for you to generate multiple streams of income, but for some people, doing that may even mess up their mainstream of income. So I think you should know who you are and where you are at. For some people, you may have to put your energy towards your main hustle. Make sure that it is at a certain point that you can allocate some time to other things. So don't just go into it just because, I mean, it's the in thing, you know. Secondly, I think a lot of the time we want to start big, maybe have an office somewhere, take a few pictures, show that Charlie, the big boy has landed. It's not really necessary, right? Thanks to the internet, you don't need to go and rent a space to have a shop. You can be selling baby stuff, and the baby stuff is just in front of your bed. You just put it on the bed, take a picture, put it. Your warehouse is in front of in your room. You get and you do the business. You work on it for a while, and then once you realize that it's going well, then you scale it up. So you get a place. Maybe now people can come in. You continue your online so that you can reach more people, etc. You don't need to go and rent a store somewhere and start just to realize that that area people don't really buy things. So I think thanks to the internet, we can test certain things much easier. I would also say that let's be careful. Some of us just want to be called, CEO. CEO of some
True. That's very true.
CEO, and we are not running businesses. We are just, I don't know, packaging. So if you're going to do something, remember that the purpose of multiple streams of income is to make income. So if what you are pursuing is not bringing you that, then maybe you are doing something else. Okay. And I would also say that let it not be about the sentiments, but about the income. So, for example, if you are lucky enough to have enough money to go into real estate, it is not because you want to be called what do you call it, landlord or landlady. You have done your calculations. You know about the rent that you should be attracting, what the money you've put in, your ROI, is there a better use of your money? Or you do all those analysis before you go and put your money in some of these things, right? So it shouldn't be about sentiment or about, packaging or making people think that you've arrived when the truth is you've not arrived. The purpose of multiple streams of income is to increase your income and reduce your risk. So ask yourself, is it helping you do this? Of course, in the beginning, you won't start something and then the money will come all of a sudden. Of course, unless you are exchanging your skill for money. That one is quite faster. Like Kingsley said, he's good at financial modeling. Leslie calls him that, Charlie, hook me up. He does it. You give him his 5,000, he's gone. But for a lot of these things, sometimes it takes time. Okay, so also being patient, making sure that you are growing, but also being patient, not mixing your money, the business money. That's if you're into business, not mixing the business money with your personal money and doing all sorts of things, killing the business very early, making sure that you are scaling it to a point where it can grow and bring you more money. Because in this side of town, I think that we like to do something small. We don't like to expand. So you go to a cocoa seller and by 7:30, the bull fruit is finished. But every day people come and about 10 people come.
I never get that logic. Like,
So yeah. I think that once it's going well, we should also fight our fears and then expand it. You never know what could come out. A lot of people started things mistakenly and it has become, their main thing. So that is why I said you need to sit down and think about why you are doing what you are doing. Otherwise, it can be quite tough. Trust me, putting content up on social media, it looks very easy, but it is difficult. So you have to have a strong reason why you do what you do. Otherwise, you will give up very easy. But if you are unable to do all these things, remember that, as we said, there's passive income. You can invest in stocks. You can lend money hopefully to people who pay and then take your cuts. It is also there. You can write a book. You can sing a song. Hopefully your voice is nice and will be willing to pay to listen to you.
That doesn't apply to me.
Pardon? You can have a rental.
Singing a song and the entertainment stuff there. It doesn't apply to me.
You can rent even your room. Maybe you're in a 3-bedroom house. You are not using the extra space. You can rent it out and make extra money. So just first of all, look around you. What are the things that you can easily make money from, and then start from there. And then also have it in mind to expand and to scale. Don't stay like at one place.
Yeah. Okay. And Leslie, if I could add some thoughts to Mimi's points too. So one other mistake to avoid is to not spread yourself too thin. I think you have to really understand before you start any side business or any side gig, you have to really understand the commitment it requires in terms of time and effort and any other thing that it might require of you. Now, the unfortunate thing is that we all can't be Elon Musk, where we are CEOs of multiple companies. So you really have to understand that you don't have to spread yourself too thin. There are instances where people pursue multiple source of income, and they end up doing it at the detriment of their main job. They end up doing it at the detriment of their personal health. they end up doing it at the detriment of their relationship. They end up doing it basically in a way that it affects them negatively. Before you embark on this particular journey, you really have to understand the commitment so that you don't spread yourself too thin. The second point to also notice, you have to understand the income that you need to support this particular aspect. If your side hustle is one that requires you putting up money. So for instance, let's say you buy an Uber car, a car for Uber, or you buy a car and the goal is to use it for Uber related service. You should understand that buying a car is just one part of the cost. You have to look at maintenance, you have to look at fueling costs, plus other unforeseen expenses that could come up. Before you start, you have to be able to analyze and be able to estimate all of these costs so that when you start, you have the right money in it. Unfortunately, some people jump into some kind of business that they feel could generate them passive income or any form of income, and they end up getting bent, and there's no additional money to show it up. So somebody might say, I have a farm, and I go to my farm over the weekend and then maybe I have a poultry farm, I'm able to sell eggs out of it. But then you start and you realize that you cannot even put up good, like let's say, systems or structures for the poultry that you are housing because you didn't plan for it. You may have just planned for the place, but you didn't plan for the other parts. Or you realize that along the line, food prices or the feed that you need for this poultry, the prices go up and you don't have the amount for it. What do? You end up losing your whole money. So for those who are going into or who would want to get some form of side income, which comes from running a business, you really have to estimate what is the income that you need, what is the amount, the capital that you need to be able to run it, so that you don't end up losing your capital or you don't end up getting to a critical stage and you don't have any way to fund it and you end up losing everything. The last point I'll add is try not to manage so many things if you don't understand them. For every side gig or every side hustle, there is some form of commitment it requires. Beyond just the time I spoke about, which could lead to burnout and destroy a relationship, there is an understanding of how do you even manage all of this. If you look at, for example, me, and I'll just use my example. For the suit business that I run, it's very flexible. I do it as and when you reach out to me, you want it. I have somebody who manages logistics for me. So I can be doing my day job and I'm not affected by it. When I close from work, I can see the orders that came in. I call those I have to call. I send the order to my delivery guy and he does it for me. For the freelance, once in a while financial model, like the word say, once in a while. So it comes up. So I'm able to manage it very well. Now I look at the consulting side, which I'm doing for these two startups, and they are very flexible. It could be just 1 hour a day or 2 hours a whole week. So I'm able to manage it. So I'm doing all of this and I have the full concentration for my day job. Everything I'm doing is not pulling me in a way that I cannot manage it and I'm not able to then juggle across it. I'm able to be in control. So when you're having a side business, the key thing is you should be in control. The business should not be moving you just like a wind, throwing you off balance because you don't understand. But you should plan it well such that when you are committing time, skills, and resource, you are able to do it in a way that you get your income and you still minimize any downside that could come out of it.
This is amazing. This is amazing, guys, because I have a lot of questions, and you guys are even answering the questions before I even get to ask them, right? And I think the main takeaway from what you guys have said is that, don't just do it for doing sake, just because everybody's calling themselves CEO, everybody. It looks like everybody's out there making moves, so you want to try and look like, you might want to look busy and stuff, right? So that's my main takeaway from this. Also, the fact that it shouldn't come at the cost of the hand that feeds you, right? That is your day job. That is the one that you are trying, that's giving you the money to venture out into all these other avenues of business, right? It shouldn't come at the cost of your day job. It shouldn't come out of the cost of the productivity to your day job. It shouldn't come out of the cost of some of the relationships that you've been able to build so far. You shouldn't be that guy that you are always, I'm busy. Always. So you are moving up and down, you are walking fast, you are here, you're there, always here. So I think these things that you guys are mentioning are very, very important. And I have taken some of these things into serious consideration. But I think Mimi mentioned something concerning like following trends, right? And also something about how putting out content in the in the social media space can prove to be difficult. But then these days there are things like maybe AI. There are a lot of tools that you can take advantage of. Now people don't have to know extensive Photoshop. You have extensive Photoshop to be able to print something. They can just go to Canva and then quickly just whip up a flyer in about 10 minutes, right? So there are a lot of emerging trends that people can still take advantage of to pursue the journey of building multiple streams of income. So in your opinion, Mr. Kingsley, what are some of the emerging trends, the type of different emerging trends that people can say, oh yeah, I can leverage on this. No, I don't have this skill. I can leverage on this to try and get a business started out of something. What are some of the emerging trends?
Yeah, I think the very first one is the social media tools you spoke about. Now, when you even take a step back and you are a seller on, let's say, and on social media, for example, Facebook and Instagram, they've built a lot of tools to help you manage it. Even these days, you can add a bot which helps you to automate some kind of like question. So when somebody sends you an order, you don't have to be able to be there to respond it. There are some sample things that will just go out. For those who are even on WhatsApp, these days we also have WhatsApp bot, which enables you to free up some space, and then you allow the automation to work. So you just say hi, and then somebody is asking you for what do you want. You put in the order, it takes it is transferred to a person. So for businesses, this is one tool you can easily use. If you have the chance to integrate friendly bots across your social media platforms or digital platform, I will encourage it for those who don't have time, because you might not be there as and when a customer places an order, but you would want to be able to receive it. So you can easily do that. The second part is Canva. Make Canva your friend. And today I was even excited when I realized that Canva is releasing new features. For those who like to use Canva, you can check it out. But then they are using a lot of AI to text to image transcription, image to flyer, among other stuff. If you are somebody who is also running a side business, that is one burden taking off your marketing side, because you could go to Canva and use the friendly tools plus the AI embedded tools which they've created now to help you run that. So that is another thing that you could also use for it. The third bit I would want to add is outsourcing some parts of your business operation. So for somebody running multiple businesses, especially those who are running businesses, it's not always, you don't have to manage the whole end-to-end process. There are instances where you could do a part of it and you could just create a very simple form where all the orders at the end of the day is collated and then it is given to somebody who manages the delivery for you. So there's another trend which is coming up that you can also use. Then the very last one is the mobile platforms. Now, moving away from business to for those who want to make money. I wouldn't want to mention any app name because I wouldn't want to give any form of free promotion or something like that. Or maybe the app goes down, someone come and say, Kingsley, you mentioned this app and now it has gone down. But in recent times, in recent times, there are platforms which is making it very easy for you to access the foreign market. So for those seeking to get some form of passive income through the stock market, there's something which has become a very common concept, which is democratization. And this is simply enabling retail, you and I, to be able to buy shares of Apple, shares of this in just penny fraction. Like you're able to, you don't have to buy the full one share. You can buy a part of it, 0.5, 0.4. And there are platforms on our market which is enabling people to do this. So you can buy an Apple stock and you don't have to buy the full Apple stock of over $100. You could just buy 10% of it and you'll be okay. So these are platforms that people can also take advantage of to be able to benefit from the upside in the financial market.
I hear you. Amen to that, Mr. Kingsley. So, Madam Mimi, do you have anything to add to what Mr. Kingsley has said?
I think he said it all. But just keep in mind that the fact that there's AI and all sorts of things doesn't mean that you just put the stuff in there and it generates for you and it's going to be, very easy and smooth. You still have to put in the effort. And he was talking about cost, and cost also includes your time, which you also have to consider. So yes, it has shortened the process, but there's still some effort that needs to be put in. And let's say, I remember you were talking about not liking writing, but imagine you put what you want, you give AI, you allow AI to do the research, and then you sit down and edit it to suit your taste. You can still be an author. So I think it gives us the opportunity, those of us who wouldn't have done certain things, to be able to do certain things, because now somebody is doing the research that maybe you think you weren't good enough to do, and then you just have to do the part of making it yours, and then you can still be an author, and hopefully people buy your book and you make income. So I think it also opens um, other doors, and then whatever we are doing, it makes it much easier and faster if we are able to take advantage of some of these tools.
Amazing. Yeah. So, I mean, leverage on your skills or even leverage on your current income to be able to open other sources of income. There are a lot of ways you can make money. These days, there are a lot of automation, as both guests have said. Don't just sit down, and also don't just do it for doing sake. Have a real motivation behind it, right? But starting in businesses and all that, staying focused, it can be a challenge sometimes. So when people face setbacks, when people face like challenges, what is maybe one or two things that would help them try to stay focused, try to keep on pushing, try to wake up every single day and say, yes, I'm going to do this, because like I said, it comes with a lot of setback, it comes with a lot of failures. Try again, you continue, you try again, and it gets to a point where it seems like all gets lost. So what are some of the things that you can say that it will help our audience stay focused and motivated to pursue the journey of building multiple streams of income? So Madam Mimi, I think you can take this, and then I'll proceed to the last but one question.
As I said, have a strong reason why you are doing what you are doing, because life is not easy. I mean, if you've been alive for a while, you should know that nothing good comes easy. So you should have a very strong reason. So as for the challenges, they'll come. You'll be tired. Letty spoke about, your own health, and sometimes you are just tired. But once you have a strong reason why you do what you do, that would always push you to keep on going. I think that when your side hustle is also not bringing you money, you've been doing it over and over and over again, and it's not bringing you anything, it can get really discouraging. So maybe you have to sit down and be truthful to yourself and reevaluate. Is this something that you should still pursue? Are there things that you can change to be able to make things better? And sometimes we are doing it, but we are not paying ourselves. I really encourage you to pay yourself, even if it's something small, because it motivates you to keep on going. Why do you get up and go to work even when you don't want to go to? Because the money has to be made, right? Yes, you love what you do, but it's important that if you can afford to pay yourself, even if it's 100 cedis a month, 200 cedis a month, do that. It would push you to keep on going. And it's important to celebrate wins. Don't compare yourself to other people. Yes, you made a mistake, and mistakes are very good ways to learn. What are you picking up from that mistake? Why did that mistake happen? Okay, like Kingsley said, some people started business without thinking about the cost of it. They didn't think about the capital. They went into it, they failed. You had to go, you had to stop it, and you've had a chance to start again. Don't make the same mistake. Learn from your mistakes and correct them, so that next time it's better. And even through those mistakes, you can actually make money from those mistakes by teaching people online. I failed 8 times. How to avoid failing with your business. It's funny, So there's nothing to be ashamed of. How can you make the most of the mistakes that you make? And sometimes you need to get a mentor. You need to get an accountability partner. For my business partner and I, we got an accountability partner because, as I said, we are both mothers. We have a lot on our plate, and there's a tendency just to, pack things somewhere and say, Charlie, whatever, So we got an accountability partner, and I remember, not too long ago, we had set a goal of how many followers we need to have, since our business is mostly on Instagram. And this accountability partner said, no, you guys can do more. And she stretched us and promised to take us out for lunch, for dinner, if we are able to achieve that goal. And guess what? We were able to achieve and even overachieve that goal. And we went for that lunch. So sometimes you just need people to push you. And so if you can get a mentor or an accountability partner or someone to push you or guide you through, yes, you made this mistake, next time try it this way. You did this, next time do it this way. It really pushes. I mean, life is not meant to be done alone. So sometimes you just need people to push you and then even introduce you to people who will support your business. So that is what I'll add.
Thank you very much. Now, as always, before my very last question, the call to action is that, we are Bethniel Finance. We are asking the hard questions. We are giving solutions to the hard problems. And we are inviting you to join our community. We have a very vibrant students community across, I think, 5 campuses in Ghana. We also have a very active workers community. So we are constantly engaging you guys. We are always engaging experts. We are always holding conversations like this. We are asking that today, make the decision to, if you are already in the community, make the decision to invite somebody else into the community and then try to be as financially stable and stay financially ahead as possible. We also have apps on the App Store and Play Store. So download the app today. We have a lot of amazing features on it. This coming month, that's in April, we are launching new features on the app, which is going to be beneficial for everybody. And I'm excited to see where or how much our community members learn from these conversations like this, as they have always been very, very insightful. Again, these conversations happen at least once a month, right? So if you have any pressing issue that you want us to address, anything that you want us to talk about, we always have experts at our call, and you can just host a space like this and just talk about some things like this. Yeah. So my very, very last question, that comes in the form of, what advice would you give? I mean, a lot of very insightful things have been said on this particular space, right? So I'd like to say, what advice would you give to somebody who's just starting out? What advice would you give to somebody that's trying to start their multiple streams of income journey into this year, right? At the beginning of the year, people make a lot of declarations. I'll do this, I'll go to the gym, I'll do that, right? But along the line, some of them don't start. Those who start along the line, they just fall off. So what advice would you give to people who are trying to make passive income? They're trying to make more than their regular 9 to 5. So Mr. Kingsley, I think you can take this, and then Madam Mimi, you can bring it all together for us.
Yeah, so I think one key to insight of is around the multiple stream of income source that comes from using your personal skills. I think there are 2 ways to look at it, and I know we are speaking about going out there to go and get the income, but sometimes too, it pays to also be patient and sharpen the skill, which can draw you more income. I'll give an example. Assuming right now you are good with, let's say, graphic designing, but you are at a basic level, and you decide to offer this service out, you'd realize that you could be earning 50 Ghana cedis or 100 Ghana cedis. But if you rather take some time to sharpen the skill before you offer it, you realize that you can be able to now command 500 cedis and 1,000 cedis. So what that means is that having multiple or deciding to have multiple stream of income, if it is one which is coming from your skill, set or your competence, there's a need for you to first build that skill set before you go out there to make money out of it. You can monetize it, by a wrong timing might make you not be able to do that. I see a lot of people, and for me personally, when I was starting out my career, I was asking myself, how much knowledge do I have to be able to support businesses or do what I'm currently doing? I realized I didn't have that. So I rather spend some time doing it. And now I can rent out my time and it commands me much more money than what I would have made if I was. So the first point is understand the timing. And if it is based on your skills, sharpen that skills before you go out there offering the raw talent. The second part of trying to get multiple income is that, see, there are so many avenues that you can use to make multiple sources of income. Don't narrow yourself. Don't limit it to your line of profession. Oh, I am a banker, so I'm thinking about multiple sources of income as far as in line of when it comes to the financial industry. Oh, I'm a health worker, so I'm narrowing myself to multiple sources of income that will come from the health space. Have an open mindset. Your source of income could come from something outside your workplace, outside your talent, or outside your skill set. It could come from diverse place. It could be a hobby that you have. It could be some passion that you have on something which is not necessarily about your skills, like your personal background or work professional background, I should say. But you could use that as a means to generate that. So just know that and be able to offer that. And the last thing I said is manage it. Having multiple sources of income should not come at the detriment of all the fortunes you've built. Your relationship, your business, your family, in work, and even your personal health. Do it, but do it wisely. Commit the time, but commit it wisely. And when you're able to mix all these things I've spoken about, you can be able to generate some good income, which will still give you your peace of mind.
Thank you very much. Madam Mimi, I think you can just pray all together for us, and then we can be able to end the space.
One thing is, I would encourage young people, as young as university or even younger, to take advantage of the time you have and start exploring different things. I remember before I had my first job that there were different things I started, but at the back of my mind, having a job was ultimate. So I looked down on those things, and looking back, I feel like if I had just pushed them a bit more, I would have probably had a factory producing slippers, because it was something I was doing. I would have probably had other things. So don't look down on anything. Take advantage of your youthful years. That's when you have the most time, and explore and learn. There are so many things to learn these days, a lot of free things. Kingsley said we shouldn't mention, but this is a free thing. Let me just mention. Allow me, Leslie. You know, ALX is doing this free computer. All sorts of
Yeah.
Yes. Last year I tried the FMVA. Charlie, it's another level, but they are all.
Were you able to complete it? I think it was 2 months, right?
It was too much for my schedule. Yeah, I couldn't.
Okay.
That's a lesson I learned too. That Charlie, I'm not young anymore. I have 2 kids. I'm married. I do all sorts of things, so I can't. I should have been real, because it was 40 hours per week. There was no way I was going to be able to commit, that time. But all these are free things that you can take advantage of to get better. Know what kind of learner you are. For me, I learn better when I ask people. I know it's annoying, but that's how I learn. So if I come and ask you a question, don't be annoyed. So know what kind of learner you are. Some of us learn from practice. So just expose yourself more to, or it's not everything that is money. You see, sometimes when you are starting out, they'll say, oh, I went to do this internship, or I went to do this national service and they didn't pay me. It's not about paying at that point. It's about acquiring a skill that you can exchange for money. So let's be very conscious about, a lot of the time, because we don't have any clear goals that this is what I want to do, these are the steps I should take, we always see it as being exploited, but it's very important that you allow yourself to go through the necessary training, grow, so that you can get to a point that you can exchange that skill for money. And ask yourself whether whatever skill you have is solving a problem, because people will pay for what a problem you are solving, not for what you think people should pay for, but a problem you are solving. So these are some of the things that I believe that you can do. And you can always start from what comes easy to you and make sure you understand what you are doing. So if you don't know how to drive, or you don't like driving, I don't see why you should be doing Uber, So these are some of the things that you should take into consideration. And I think that Kingsley mentioned hobbies. And so if you also have kids, it's important to expose them to extracurricular activities. Not every day, Amma, where is your homework? Let them play some piano a bit, let them do other things. All these things in real life, you realize that they are of much value, So these are some of the things I'll add.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I can't thank you guys enough. It has been very, very informative. It has been very, very educative. But I would like to say a big thank you, first of all. And I'd like to add a little bit to what you guys said. That there are a lot of free skill sharing, skill learning apps out there, courses online that you can take for free. Some are paid, but they are worth it. To chip in, Bethniel, who's masterclass, I think every 3 months that we are constantly helping people to learn things like investing in real estate, investing in stocks, sharpening various skills that you can just leverage on. And I don't think the public, or at least this part of the world, is aware of, just how useful the internet could be if they just allow themselves to be educated, right? I think it's very, very important for us as young people, as adults, to just constantly not be comfortable where we are, but always improve on where what we can do. What next? What next? How can I be better? How can I be sharpening my skills and all that, right? Yeah, so ALX is a good example. Our masterclass is also a good example. There's also Coursera. There's also Google. Google also has a very, very lucrative courses on digital marketing and software engineering and all that people can just leverage on to just be better, learn more skills, and earn more money, right? Yeah. So the call to action once again is to join our communities, workers, students, depending on who you are and where you are in life right now. We accommodate for everybody. We also have an app on the App Store and on the Play Store. Download the app. We have a lot of amazing features. There are lots. I can't get into it right now, and we are even bringing more, right? But Mimi, this is the second time that I'm hosting a space thing. As usual, I have my pen and my notepad over here, just jotting down everything that you said, right? So I just want to say thank you very much for being an expert on these conversations. Again, they are very, very meaningful to me and everybody watching. And Mr. Kingsley, a very new and brilliant addition to our experts. I just want to say thank you, and I appreciate your time and efforts that you took to engage with us today. So I think we can bring this to an end. Thank you very much for everything that you've done today, taking time out of your very, very busy schedules to just engage with us. And if you have any final words, we can just we can say it, and then we can bring the space to an end. God bless you guys.
Thanks, Leslie.
Yeah.
From the perspective as the president of the Bethniel Finance University Community, I'm happy when I see that over 150 plus members of this community have had their financial lives change. Every week, we have activities, we have webinars, and we are educating them on the various sections of their personal finance lives. And also from the perspective of being in the community myself, I've seen immense change in my financial life. I never considered retirement till I joined the Bethniel Finance community, and I have a retirement plan. My investment portfolio, everything is looking good, and I didn't just do that on my own. It's because I stick with Bethniel Finance. I've seen the change. I've had the opportunity to, connect with all the people who have interviewed on our webinars, and it's been exciting as an individual and as a student.